with the Cold War over, and the Japanese have won the Cold War, and they're way ahead of us, by the way. They got the best cane for blind people in the world. We're importing that stuff. But the Human Factors Society, they're in Santa Monica, California, and call them. They got, and we have a new subgroup of people like this. So you get educated. For instance, I was doing a study on grip. What are the best grips for a person without some fingers to grab? And I had the transducers, and I had the computer set up, and really good experiment. And then I went to Human Factors Society, and one of the scientists says, "Oh yeah, I've done that study. I just put finger paint on the grip of the cane, and I squeezed it, and then I see where the hot spots are, and I can." I said, finger paint. I learned from that stuff. The other Human Factors Society, and training. Okay, when you go into a hotel, the doorman has to know how to transfer, how to help that person without hurting his own back, and you can sell a binder for the doorman so he can lift, and how to put the wheelchair in the car. That's training. The banquet manager, you got to train the banquet manager at this hotel as far as what forms to put out. And by the way, my new book is coming out this month. It's called ADA ABCs, and it's published by JIST. I can give you the 800 number, but JIST Publishing Company in Indianapolis, Indiana. And my book has all the forms in it, all the stuff you want, so you can then go to the banquet manager and say, this is really the form that you send out before I have my annual Christmas dinner at your hotel. And the law says you can't contract with anybody who discriminates. You get sued. So if you don't check me out, if you subcontract with me, and if you buy equipment from somebody and have a contract to buy equipment for somebody who discriminates, and they get sued, you get sued, or vice versa. So you have to check them out, everybody, the janitorial service in your building. And then you say, by the way, the Retarded Citizens Association, why don't we get some retarded folks to help you clean the building? The old stereotype, that's fine. And why don't you, again, be total advocates for this program? So the equipment that you would have, and one thing, and by the way, I'm doing this stuff all by myself, and I need help. So some entrepreneurs might say, Bob, I'm going to help you do this stuff. We're going to do a seminar here, and I'm going to put out an ADA compliance hardware catalog. Because employers all over the United States, remember we're talking about millions of people, right now they get a catalog of a wheelchair, a regular catalog that you get, and you have a wheelchair section, and you have a blind, you have a walker section. There's no catalogs that say, folks, if you become a wheelchair rider, you need a reacher, you need a bench, you need a bio bed. There's no catalog that has where somebody enters in, they can read this and say, yeah, I need all this equipment for this disability. The same thing with ADA. I'm putting together an ADA compliance hardware catalog. Anybody want to help me? I'm just doing it by myself, doing all this stuff by myself. Any big company there that wants to do this stuff on a national basis, come on board. I'll show you how to do it, work with you, do this stuff. If you want to do it in your locale and be Mr. or Mrs. or ADA and work with the local, state, private. Again, you got, on every street corner you have a private rehab guy or lady. And these are the entrepreneurs. You have the Crawfords and the if you look in the paper under rehabilitation, I don't know if you're familiar with those, but those people should be marketed because those people represent insurance companies. Insurance companies have the money to buy equipment from you. So besides the rehab hospitals and besides the state, you should also market the private people who are in the phone book who are out marketing other people. So it's a halo effect. It's an octopus effect of people marketing. And I'm not knocking marketers because without the salespeople, the world comes to a stop. See, I could be the best parapathologist in the world. Have the degrees, I have the canes, ready to travel. I could be the best ergonomist in the world. I could be the best DME dealer in the world. No business. I mean, the best attorney in the world. got all, know all the laws, no business. So the genius is the guy who gets the business. And by getting the business, you're going to be educating the employer, the building manager, the building owner. You go into a building, you say, by the way, 50% of your offices in this building is not accessible. So therefore the real estate guy has to knock down what's the valuation of the building on this stuff. Then you got the lawsuits. You got $50,000, $100,000, and $300,000 punitive, including the witness fees. Now once that hits the fan, once that goes into your local newspaper, that Joe department store got sued and got hit and settled the case for $250,000, and they know that you are ADA oriented, have big sign. Celebration, by the way. Celebration, July 26th, call the shopping center and say, by the way, I want to put my wheelchairs in your front window. I want it to be comfortable that people see wheelchairs. The Cerebral Palsy Association, that for years they've been fighting on the TV, that to be comfortable with, we have black people now on TV. We're comfortable with the black shows. We're comfortable. In the beginning it was, what? We don't want to watch these people. Now we're comfortable with the blind. By the way, if you want to raise money, you always put a good-looking blind kid on a bicycle and you put him on the front of the brochure. Give to Jerry's kids and stuff like that. You want to raise money. But the reality is, ADA says, if you're a fat person, don't discriminate. If we don't want a black guy in the front or a black woman as a cashier in the front in the beginning because it's bad for business in the South. We don't want that. Now, who cares? Now you get a guy with a scar. Halloween, by the way. How do we learn to hate? Halloween. Who are the bad people in the literature? The pirates? The guys with the hooks? The ladies with the patches? They're bad. So the children are learning to be frightened. Don't talk to the blind person. And the stereotypes. The people in wheelchairs smell bad. They're urinous. Blind people are very close to God. It's wonderful, and they love to smell flowers. It's really, let's build them a fragrant garden, and the blind people they have this magic, the evil eye. They don't do that stuff. From the literature, if you go into Leviticus, if you go into the Bible in 17 chapters rip off people with disability. Be careful of them. Don't do it. The crooked back people, they can't be priests. If it wasn't for Pope John said it's all right, folks. You can have a blind guy as a priest, and it's all right. They couldn't do that before. All the old Bildermeisters, all the old stuff. So we're programmed to be frightened and to hate people with disabilities, to hate people, because I'm very comfortable hating Catholics and hating Polish people and hating Cubans and hating black people. And also I hate blind people and I hate wheelchair riders. I'm very comfortable in doing that because I'll never be that. But then I become a wheelchair rider and I hate me. And the whole world hates me. And then I go into regression and I go into depression. And depression is when you're fear and when you can't or won't change your environment. Now with ADA, I have freedom. It's wonderful. So the kids growing up are going to be, it's all right to be black, and it's all right to be Polish and Cuban, and it's all right. I'm not all right, and you're not all right, and that's all right. It's not all right. It's all right not to be all right. So these kids, you are missionaries. You people, if you take it seriously, like the Senator Harkin did, and if you take it seriously, you people are missionaries into this world to say, it's all right to do that. And I want to celebrate ADA. So July 26th, you go into your local shopping center and you say, I want to put my displays, I want to put my tri-wheelers, and I want to put the mannequins in that stuff, and I want to have a big party, and I'm going to have a wheelchair basketball and wheelchair square dancing, and I want to organize this stuff. And if you have competitors in your area, bring them together, because this is one banner. This is not competition. Then you have the equipment, and then you go into the stores and you have the door openers, and you know the regulations, so you can tell the people the regulations. To say, this is the regulations, and we're just here to, we're not from the government, we're here to help you. Let's see how much time we got. I think that's it, isn't it? Any questions, by the way? Any questions? Any comments? Any burps? Anything? Yes.
Yeah, I have a question what you said about workers' compensation and the second injury fund.
Yes.
I didn't understand what that second injury fund meant.
Okay, the second injury fund is I come to work for you. What do you do? What kind of business do you have?
Public relations business.
Okay, public relations business. I come to you, and I have a history of one eye. Okay, I have one eye. And ordinarily, you know that if I lose my other eye, I'm going to be totally blind, and it'll cost you, your experience rate will go up, and it'll cost you $1 million. If I only lose one eye, it's going to cost you nothing. I lose one eye, you got a problem, it'll cost you, so your insurance company is going to be, your rates are going to go up. So you don't want to hire persons with one eye to do that. Now, the law says, in every state, the Second Disability Fund says that if I lose my other eye, causing total blindness, if I hurt my back again, you get reimbursed by the state fund where all the companies kick in the money, and you only have to pay for one eye. You caused that other eye. You caused it. It's no fault system, but that you own that eye, but you don't own this other eye.
Yeah, but are you talking about recurrent injuries, like recurrent back injuries or something?
Yeah, if I aggravate my and by the way, I always injure my back Monday afternoon. You know why? Huh? No, Monday afternoon. Because I really injured it on the weekend. I report to work, I'm hurting. I report to work, and then I don't want to tip you off, so I suffer all morning, but I lift the desk in the afternoon, so that's what I do. And the injuries you watch, like if there's going to be a strike in the coal mine, you'll have a lot more injuries. Military, you'll see on that stuff. But I don't deprecate that because all I want to do is survive, folks. And if necessary, I'll cannibalize all of you for me to survive. That's what I do. That's why I have all the tools in order to survive and fight everybody who's trying to kill me. The boss is trying to kill me. The teacher's trying to flunk me out. The sun is trying to bake me. Everything's trying to kill me. So if I have the tools, if I have the wheelchair umbrella, the sun ain't going to bake me. If I do my homework, the teacher's not going to flunk me. And I have the tools to do that. If I have the wheelchair, mobility is life. If I have the hearing aid, mobility is life. The lines of light are parallel and they come in, mobility. Tympanic membrane moves, mobility. Everything is mobility. Everything is motor. And by allowing people to have the independence, because that's the best thing you own is independence. No thank you, Mommy, I'd like to do it myself. No, I don't have time. Come on, get going. No, let the kid do it himself. Independence. You are what you do. And if you don't do stuff, then you're Zippo. And if your tools are not sharp and not bright, then you're going to lose the battle. Eventually, you're going to die anyhow. Yes, ma'am. You don't use the word handicap. Person with a disability.
And so, if the Department of Vocational, do we have to say or...
Yes, that's what you do. You have the person. See, the more help I have, the more chance I got to survive, folks. So, if I have my mommy, my daddy, my wife helping me, and then I shop it to different agencies. First of all, how many people come in your stores and your offices and you immediately tell them to apply for Social Security Disability? How many people do that? Most of the people, Social Security and Disability and Medicaid and Medicare are secrets. So their lawyers didn't tell them, the doctors didn't tell them. They went into the DME store and they went into the home health, and the first thing you say is, by the way, I'm making a phone call now, folks. I'm getting you a talking book. I'm getting you special transportation. I'm helping you with Social Security, and I'm going to be your advocate. Plus, I know who to refer you to. And if you can't afford the equipment, I'm going to refer you right now. I got the number of Joe, who is my favorite vocational rehabilitation counselor for the state, and I took him out to lunch the other day, and he's going to put you on his budget, and he's going to pay for the wheelchair. And then and then if you're on this Social Security, you're on the trust fund, so he gets reimbursed from the Social Security trust fund. How many people do this? Nobody should leave this door.
I have tried. And any time you're dealing with U.S. government.
No, this state.
All right.
80% federal, 20% state runs it.
Deserve Social Security disability. You can forget it. And the judge will sit there and he'll tell you we're out of money.
No, you can't be. Social Security's never out of money. So they can't say that. Kristen, my expertise is with Social Security. I see that when the person gets turned down twice.
I'll take you to a room in this hotel, and I'll show you somebody who's been completely through the system.
Okay.
I'll help him. I'll be happy to help him. I'll be happy to help him. Trust me. Yes, sir.
We will give you more opportunity of those you wish to have a contest with. Here's Bob. Bob needs to go to the other room.
I go into homosexual panic when he does this. Watch out.
Thank you.
I get all excited
But
here.
you get excited because
Man can't.
we do
Is
have
he
to,
Is he tactual? Is
Yes.
Is he T?
Because you're
Is
going
he
to
T?
now you're going to go to the next room and go to and speak to the other group.
Okay, with the little movie
Yeah,
projector.
and you're going to have to take your slide
Oh,
carousel.
did you all enjoy the slides, by the way? You all enjoyed the slides? Slides were good? Thank you. I worked very hard on the slides. I worked very, very hard on those
We'll
slides.
have a wrap up, and then we'll make a chance to anyone you have, because these are important things to discuss if you get a chance to do that. Okay, and I hate to interrupt this way, but again, if you'd like to take 3 to 5 minutes to get the circulation going, whatever. Thanks for the humor.
What's this? Quote.
Beware of the term expert. X is a hazard and a spurt is a grip under pressure.
True. True.
Great presentation. Oh, we'll handle with this right after and we that'll be next time.
Okay. So, yeah, I have